In our previous video, we completed the CRUD operation for permission and roles. And in this video, we'll be looking at how to attach permission to the roles. And before starting this video, I'd like you to introduce to this whole series sponsor, which is Cloudways. Cloudways is a managed cloud hosting platform which focuses on your business and avoid all the web hosting hassles. Cloudways will take care of the server setup for you. And you can go live in minutes using the Cloudways. You can select any one of these applications like WordPress, Laravel, PHP, etc. And you can host those in any one of these servers like DigitalOcean, AWS, Vultr, Google Cloud or Linode. And also you can scale your server size as you need using the simple and easy user interface. You can use the link below to subscribe to Cloudways, and if you do so, you will get $15 as a credit. And you can use that $15 to set up a base server, and it will last you almost a month, which means that you are getting 1 month free. So let's get started. If I go here inside this editor in the edit section, then I can see here a bunch of permissions and I can source the permission. Let's say edit, or let's say delete, like this. Then I can source the permissions, and whenever I click on attach, then permission attached successfully. We can see this notification and we can attach this one as well. And if we want to detach these permissions, then I can just click on detach, then the permission will also be detached successfully. Now let's see how this is implemented. I have already done the coding. I'll show you step by step. So let me go here in the VS Code and let me just zoom it for you guys. First of all, let me go to this database seeder. So here I have added this user and this editor. We'll be using this editor in the next episode in order to view whether the permissions are being applied or not. Now let me go to this roles seeder, and here I have this super admin role and I have assigned super admin role to the user 1. There is an editor role and I have assigned this editor role to the user 2, and also I have created these 4 permissions. That's why we can see these permissions over here. Now let us go to this edit page and let's see what are the things that are done. So let me go to this roles controller, and here in the edit section I have just loaded these permissions. There is this permissions relationship on this role. This role is coming from Spatie role, as we all know that. Inside this role we have this permissions relationship, so we can load this relationship over here, and I have passed permission from here. Permission resource collection permission get ID and name, because we don't need other fields than that of ID and name, so we'll not pass here. And you might be thinking why I am loading these permissions over here, because we need to know what are the permissions that are attached to these roles, and only we'll be able to know whether the permissions are attached or not. And I am writing here load because we are passing this role resource over here, and I have done some changes over here. I have added this permission over here. And when the permission is loaded, then only these permissions will be visible. So let me show you that as well here in the console. Let me go here inside the view and here in the create, and let me just zoom it for you guys. And you can see here this permission is available over here. Okay, now let us go to the controller, and we are passing this thing from the controller. So we'll receive this as a prop in this role create. So let me go to role create now, and you can see here there are something that has been changed. Over here I am adding these permissions as a prop, and this is an array. And we can also see some of the changes over here. I have made this permissions component which is inside this role folder, because this permissions is related to this roles. That's why I have created it inside the role folder. And I have also imported this over here like this, since this permission will always be inside this role folder, so I'll do like this. Now if I just go here, then I have passed the role, current role, and the permissions. These permissions are all the permissions that are present in our database. If I just show you over here this permission, all the permissions that are present in our database, and this permission is only the permissions of this particular role. Now let me go here inside these permissions. There are some things that are imported over here, and I have these props, this role and these permissions. Now there is also this source, so that we'll be able to source this using this keyword. Okay, and now here is this filtered permission. We'll use this filter permission in order to loop through the data below. I'll just show you a little bit later. And here we'll use this sort to filter. We'll get all the permissions and we'll filter those by this sort value. So it will return it like this, and we'll convert every one of these into lowercase so that if the user types capital letter or small letter, it doesn't matter. It will always match the search result. And this filters permission, we are using it over here. We are just looping through this filter permissions and then showing the permissions over here like this. So let me go on the top again, and these are some of the other methods which I'll show you a little bit later. So here, this is the container and this is the card. So container is just making some width over here, max width like this, and this card is this header, and the body, the header is this permissions, and here I have this input component. Here is the source thing. Okay, that source is coming from, so it is coming from here, and whenever we type something, then this filter permissions will also change and the filtered list will also change in the UI over here. Now we are looping through this li item, and I am just showing this permission name over here like this permission name, and attach or detach. This is detach and this is attach, and I am showing this detach if this role has permission, and if it doesn't have VLs, then it will show attach. And if we go ahead and look here in this role has permission, then we can see here like this, we'll get all the permissions of this particular role. And let me show you that over here. We are getting all these things from here, and this sum method will return true if it matches, which means that if the past permission is present in any one of the permissions that is present in the roles, then it will return true and it will exit that loop. So it will be a little bit more efficient. It will return either true or false. If it is true, then it will show detach, otherwise it will show attach. And similarly, we are showing this text green 700 and font bold if the permission has been attached to that role. And let me show you that over here. Edit users is a little bit green and bold so that it will be easy to visualize on the left hand side as well. On the right hand side also, we are showing this green if the permission is already attached and it is coming from over here this. And I have also modified this button component. Let me just show you over here. There is this color props that I have added, and if it is green, then I am adding these classes, and this is added over here, and by default it will be like this, and I am doing it like this. I could also just write this, replace all this green with props.color, but I am not doing that because whenever we just do it dynamically, then Tailwind will not be able to know it and will not be able to pass the classes, and the class will not be shown. So I have to do it like this. And also one more thing, this border B, if this permission.length -1 means at the bottom also will not show this border bottom, only in between will show these borders. Now whenever we click on this attach button, then it will call this attach permission and it will go over here, and then we have this inertia which is imported over here, and we are calling this URL admin.roles.attach-permission, and I'll show you that over here in admin. Then we have this attach permission to role controller and detach permissions from role controller. So currently we are attaching the permission to the role, so I am just writing this name over here. Then we'll pass the current role and this past permission, which I am passing from here, this permission, and the role is already passed as a props over here, so I'll pass that like this, role and permission. And I'm just doing preserve scroll so that whenever I click on this, then it will not take me to this top of the page, because by default inertia will always take us to the top of the page whenever we do redirect or visit some page. And also preserve state, I am doing this so that whatever the value that we have sourced over here, it will remain the same. Suppose let's say I have written here delete like this and I clicked on attach, then this delete value is also remaining. If we don't pass here preserve state equals to true, then this thing will reset and again everything will be shown. After this, let me go to the controller now, attach permission to the role controller, and we can see here this request, and this is the invocable controller. We'll find this permission find by ID. This method is available on this permission model, which is coming from this spaCy permissions, and we'll pass this permission ID. Then we can assign role to this permission. There is this assign role method which we can call on the permission, and we can pass this role ID as a parameter. It is showing me this red squiggly line because this VS Code is not able to understand this, but there is this method available on this permission model. And after that, we are redirecting back with a message called permission attached successfully. That's why we were able to see this permission attached successfully message over here. Similarly, if we go here in the permissions, then also we have this detach permission. We are also passing permission over here. Then we can see this similar kind of method like this, but we are calling this detach permission and all the parameters are same. And we'll go here in the admin and we have this detach permissions, and we'll find the permission and we'll remove the role from the permission. And again, we'll redirect back with the message. You can see here in this attach permission also, we are finding permission model and then calling assign role on it. But we are not finding the role model and then assigning the permission to it, because this thing is more efficient than the other one. You can see that here in the documentation as well. Here, this performance tip, if you just see here this performance tip, and if you just read this, then you will see here at this or this paragraph, just you can read it, then you can see here this will be more performant. That's why I have used it like this. So in this video, we looked at how to attach or detach this permission to the roles. And in the next video, we'll see how we can use these roles and permissions. And we'll make sure that super admin can access each and everything, even if no permission is assigned to the super admin. So that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.